Bring the meeting back to order.
All right, good evening, folks. Welcome to the Queen Anne's County Commissioners meeting. This is a public meeting that is being aired live on our local cable television station, QACTV 7. These media broadcasts provide county citizens an opportunity to watch and review our scheduled public meetings. In addition to our live audience this evening, we are providing remote options for citizens to watch and participate in county commissioner meetings. Citizens may watch our meeting live at our website, qac.org/live, or on our television channel, Breezeline Channel 7 and High Definition Channel 507. Citizens may also participate by going to the live Zoom meeting, by going to qac.org/public comment. Citizens may also email comments to publiccomment@qac.org. Comments received will be summarized during our press and public comment period on tonight's agenda. We acknowledge everyone's participation, and by attending, you acknowledge that the session is both recorded and aired. Press and public comment will be taken and is limited to 3 minutes per person. If you do care to speak, please sign the sheet on the information table in our lobby. Comments longer than 3 minutes may be submitted in writing for the Commissioner's review. We will now stand and be led in the Pledge of Allegiance by Commission President Jim Moran.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. If you can remain standing for a moment of silence for those that lost their lives in the Louisville shooting. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Commissioners. I'll just mention quickly that Commissioner Chris Corcorino was standing for the Pledge of Allegiance. He is on assignment in Tampa. He is actually zooming in for the meeting this evening. He's on the screen there if you can see him. Those of you that are here in our audience, and welcome, Chris. Good to see you.
Bruce, you make him look good on that TV.
He does it all himself.
All right, that brings us to the approval of today's agenda for our meeting April the 11th. So the agenda, along with our regular and closed session minutes from March 28th. In addition to those, the budget work session minutes from March 30th and April 4th have all been circulated for review. Do we have any additions and/or corrections?
Nope. A motion to accept the agenda and minutes as submitted.
Second.
Got a motion and a second. Any discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? So moved. Chris, you can just give a thumbs up. There you go. There you go.
Okay, we just held a brief closed session under the General Provisions Article, Section 3305B1, to discuss boards and commissions, and Article 3305B3 to discuss land acquisition. So we have a few announcements, the first of which is to make an appointment to the Ethics Commission.
I move to appoint Mark Cascia to fill the vacancy on the Ethics Commission. This term will expire on December 31st, 2024.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Any discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? So moved. 5-0.
All right, thank you, Commissioners. Secondly, we are happy to announce we have a purchase agreement from the Dixon family. This is a piece of property for the extension of the South Island Trail, one of a couple pieces that we've been pursuing. It's for 0.659 acres, and this would be the first step to moving that towards a settlement, and the cost of that property is $33,000. So we have the originals here for the Commissioner's consideration, and I believe it's set up for President Moran's signature, should you agree.
Okay, I move to approve the purchase contract for the Dixon property in the amount of $33,000, and I will have Commission President Jim Moran execute the purchase contract.
Second.
Alrighty. We have a motion and a second. Any discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed? So moved. 5-0.
All right, thank you, Commissioners. That brings us to press and public comments. So thank you for taking the time to express your views to the County Commissioners. Comments are limited to 3 minutes per person. Comments longer than 3 minutes can be submitted in writing. This commission respects everyone's desire to convey messages freely. When you come forward, please speak clearly at the standing microphone, state your name, address, and topic of interest, and in keeping with the dignity of our office, we ask that all views be expressed in a respectful and civil manner.
Warren Wright. Look at this. That's a way to start off a meeting.
Commissioners, about 3 years ago, we wrote in our volunteers.
Name and address.
Warren Wright, I'm volunteer for the Queen Anne's County Drug Free Coalition. I live at 201 Myers Road. It's Chestertown, Queen Anne's County side. Anyway, 3 years ago, we wrote our volunteers wrote an opioid grant. And it allowed us to start working closely with the Board of Education and their students and not adding drug awareness to the list of the things that teachers have to do. In addition to that, our person that does the grant also teaches life skills to the middle schoolers. We found it to be a great thing. You guys have helped participate in the poster contests, which are in the school and all over the county. We have an ambassadors club for the high school kids dealing with drug awareness, and there's one starting for the middle schools. Lots of things that were done. First 2 years was fine. The third year, when our volunteers wrote the grant, we didn't get the grant. I won't go into it now, what happened that year, but this year, about a week ago, our volunteers called Commissioner Moran and said, we don't think we can get this grant written. We can maybe cut most of the stuff out and write it for that amount. Commissioner Moran indicated he was going to talk to our county administrator, which was done, and all I know is our chief volunteer said, I don't have to work on this weekend. The commissioner's office is going to take our information and help us get it done on time. And I just want to say, not only was it on time, it was done a day ahead of time. The complication of these grants are getting, so it makes it tough for the volunteers, but to say whether we get it or not, I'm sure we will, but I thought that I should come before you and say to our county administrator, thank you for saving our bacon on this $150,000 grant, which we use in coordination with the county schools. So thank you. Oh, one other thing. It's good for a lifetime, so you can send it back in, they'll give you a new one.
Wait, no, what is that?
What is it?
You didn't tell anybody what it was?
What is? What is it?
It's the standard cup,
Yeah,
which is
there it is.
Oh, it's a nice tumbler.
Welcome to the club, Todd. There you go. Thank you, Warren.
And if there's anyone here from the ethics board, it's valued at
Thank you.
$11. Valued at $11, so he's
He's not
good.
an elected official, so he can run it.
Thank you very much. I appreciate that.
Yeah. Would anybody else like to testify? Seeing none, we'll close press and public comment.
Okay, moving on then to our presentations portion of our agenda this evening. First up, we have Mr. Wayne Humphreys and Mrs. Susan Coppage, the character count co-chairs. And I don't see Susan, but I see Wayne. Okay, well, Wayne, come on up. If you have any guests, bring that up. Okay, come on up. That's great. We have character counts, pillar of the month. This month is trustworthiness.
There it is.
Good evening, folks.
First of all, I want to thank you for taking the time to have us here this evening, and I want to introduce our newest character counts coordinator, Melinda Ray.
Welcome aboard.
Congratulations. Yeah.
Thank you very much.
She officially starts tomorrow, but we had the opportunity of introducing her this evening, and she was gracious enough to come out this evening.
Excellent.
Would you like to say anything or give them a little?
Tell us a little bit about yourself.
Tell us, yeah.
I've
Where
met
we
Mr.
found
Moran
you?
before. I taught at Mattapique Elementary with Aaron.
Oh, okay.
So I taught at Mattapique Elementary for 7 years. I worked for the Public Board of Ed for 11 years. And then just decided to do something new, took a year break, and then this opened up, and it's right up my alley. So I'm excited to jump in and get started using all those teacher skills in a different way.
So a former educator. Very good.
Awesome.
Thank you very much.
We're really excited about that. It's been several, well, I guess it's been since November. Kelly, of course, has been doing her best to help keep the ball rolling. I think we're still around 70 coaches that are in the schools. And, but we're just excited to have you with us, and I hope we have many, many, many years. And thank you all for your continued support for Character Counts. It means so much to the advisory council, and I think also to the community.
Yep.
I want to introduce over here Laura and
Placilla, and this is my therapy dog, Lumi.
tell us a little bit about how you
We-
partner with Character Counts and
That's right.
many other things in the county.
Many other things in the county. Yeah, we can get into that too. But, yeah, my name is Laura Placilla, and this is Lumi, my therapy dog, and we're with Pets on Wheels of the Delmarva. I'm the Queen Anne's County Coordinator. And for about the last, I'd say 6 months or so, we've been, had a liaison with the Character Counts. And we go in with our therapy dogs with the coaches, and help the coaches present their lessons. And it's worked out, I think, really well. I'm assuming we've had nothing but great feedback from that, so.
That's what we've heard.
It's a nice twist.
It really is.
you
and
know,
it
coming-
relaxes
It's a
the
great,
students, and
Sure. So
Of course, they're all
And
excited.
they teach responsibility and caring, all the pillars.
I used to bring Steve Ernst with me, and that just made things worse, so. That's-
Did he have a leash on, or was he? Maybe that's why.
Maybe no leash, that was probably why.
And with Pets on Wheels, we've also been going into the middle school and the high school through the counseling departments, and going in there for stress relief, and, it's very calming, and especially during exam time. So we bring the therapy dogs in.
What a great idea.
And of course, therapy dogs are also in the school, in the library with the Read to Rover. So we're busy. We go to the nursing homes.
Yep, I've seen it.
What a
I've
great
seen
Acadia.
him in
Hospitals and
Yeah.
and
I've seen the
We
nurse.
go to
hospice
Acadia
have them
and,
some of the other ones, yeah.
yeah, Queenstown Landing, and,
Awesome,
yeah,
great.
and the hospice. And we do the.
Now, real quick, how does someone, where do you find the dogs? Because obviously, they're
Got some
unique.
great people. I've got some great volunteers.
Okay, so they belong, so
They're all-
the
it's
dogs
all
belong to the.
volunteer.
Okay,
Yeah.
all right.
And if, you've got a really good dog, we do temperament testing.
Sure.
I do a temperament test and check the dog and make sure that they're suitable. They have to
Maybe that's
be-
where I went
Now, do they
wrong
have to be
with Steve. I didn't
certified
go-
as, like, companion dogs do, or, do they have to go through that
No,
certification?
I do a testing. I do the
So we
testing.
could do it here locally? Because I know there's the
Yeah.
one, like, for the service dogs. Isn't that a special certification, or?
Service dogs are different.
Okay,
Service dogs are usually for one person. They're assigned to do something
Right,
for
'cause you get
one
impediment, all that
person.
kind of stuff.
As opposed to therapy dogs usually are for many people.
Okay,
Like
great.
in the nursing home, we go in the nursing home, and they're to see everybody.
Sure.
So,
to comfort
so I know
everybody.
that with the specialty dogs that you were referring, that work with one person,
Service dogs.
service dogs, they ask that you don't touch the dog or pet the
Right,
dog.
and that's why I don't have it with me, but I have a thing, therapy dog, please pet me.
Okay, so
Dogs
that was
are to
going to
be
be my
petted.
question, so
These
you beat me
dogs
to
are
the
to be
punch.
petted.
So if they're wearing the harness that says therapy dog, then it's okay to ask the owner if you
Ask
could
the owner,
pet
I
it.
was just gonna say that. yes.
Okay.
Ask the owner.
Ask the- oh, sure.
Yeah.
Okay,
We always
good.
teach the kids, ask the owner.
Those
You can
labs
pet
are
the
great
dog.
for that, right? All right, who has the, Phil, do you have the proclamation?
I do.
Just one or two more
not
things
done.
now. I wanted to also mention that on Thursday, April 20th, everyone the commissioners, as well as Margie and Sherry, are invited to come over. We have a little, it's not quite the formal dinner we've had, not really a formal dinner, but a dinner, but it'll be just a gathering and some food, and thanking our coaches.
Where's this?
Kramer
Kramer Center?
Yes.
So Yeah, so I had something else that night, that's why I responded no to it. So can you pop in and pop out? Is
Pop
that-
in, pop out.
Okay.
Okay.
It'll be fine. That's, it'll be great if you can do that.
What time does it start?
It starts at 5:30
Okay.
5:30.
To 7?
to 7. The other thing is, let's see, I want to make sure I got the, and then I also wanted to mention that our Fay Lister Teen of Character Scholarship, it's still open to high school students. It's open through Friday to make an application for that. And of course, Fay Lister was such an advocate for the young people, the children, young people, and served on our Board of Education before her passing. So with that, we'll have our proclamation for this month, which is trustworthiness.
Yep.
And that was written largely by Kelly Huber, so we had someone else, and it just didn't work out at the last minute, so I'm anxious to hear this. So,
You're
as I
anxious.
always have.
All right, well, Proclamation 23-18, whereas the Commission of Queen Anne's County, at the request of the citizens, declared the county a character counts community, and whereas all citizens have been called upon to embrace the 6 pillars of character: respect, responsibility, caring citizenship, fairness, and trustworthiness, and incorporate the pillars into their daily activities to mold these traits of good character. And whereas the Character Counts Pillar of the Month for April is trustworthiness. And whereas all citizens will incorporate this value in their daily lives by being honest, by telling the truth, by being sincere, and being forthright and candid. And whereas all citizens will strive to be reliable by keeping their promise, honoring their word and commitments by being dependable and being on time. And whereas all citizens will make every effort to have integrity, to stand up for their beliefs, follow their conscience, be honorable and upright, live by their core principles no matter what others say, have the courage to do what is right and when it is hard. And whereas all citizens will make every effort to build good reputation, and whereas all citizens will be loyal to family, friends, community, and country. Be of good character. Now, therefore, Queen Anne's County Commissioners do hereby designate Character Counts Pillar of the Month of April to be trustworthy. Wayne, thank you very much
Absolutely.
for your longstanding
Yes.
commitment to
Thank
Character
you all. I
Counts.
did want to mention that you did responsibility
I did
last month. That
responsibility
was
last month.
the Pets on Wheels had done that, so it is another connection there.
So, do you want to take this opportunity, because there's some people that watch us on QAC Channel 7. You want to do a plug? Do you have a website or an email address
Oh,
or
that's okay. They can find me on the Facebook.
on
Or
Facebook?
Contact us at Character
Or
Counts.
or
We'd be
contact
more
Character
than
Counts.
happy to
Or
do
contact Character Counts? Okay, there you go.
Thanks again for your time and for your commitment. We really couldn't do it without your support. We're so thankful.
Ms. Ray, thanks for joining us.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you.
Good to meet you, that's right. Thank you. All right. Okay, Commissioners, I believe our next group of presenters are here this evening. So again, we're in tab number 6. This is item 2 on page 2, and this is a proclamation for Month of the Young Child. And I'm going to ask Julie Zavicello? Okay. Zavicello, yep. Sorry about that. Come on up, Julie.
You have anybody you want to bring up with you?
I do, but I want to just introduce
Okay.
first and then.
Sure.
You want to grab the mic? Grab the mic there so everybody can hear you. Yeah.
Or should I sit down?
You can sit down. Yeah, you can sit down,
whatever's-
absolutely.
Yeah.
That'll make it easier.
Okay. Well, good evening, and thank you, Commissioners, for taking the time out to recognize the wonderful children of Queen Anne's County. My name is Julie Valicello, and I am one of the chair people of the Month of the Young Child Committee for the Queen Anne's County Council for Children and Youth. We're here to proclaim April as the Month of the Young Child. This year, 2023, is the 26th annual proclamation sponsored by the Children's Council. The council was formed to act as an advocate for children and families. It is comprised of members of the business community, government agencies, nonprofits, and the community at large. Many members are here this evening, so please raise your hand if you're with the council. Thank you all. To celebrate the month of the young child and to recognize the youngest members of our community, we hold a poster contest every year, and it's for children ages 2 through pre-K, and then our second category is kindergarten through second grade. Tonight, we're going to honor the winners of the poster contest. This year's poster contest theme was I Can Help Others By, and the children had to answer the question and then depict artwork that went along with their answer. We had close to 450 entries this year, and so it was very difficult to choose just 2 out of all of them, and they were all wonderful. The winner of the age 2 through pre-K category is Carmela Rogers. And so she, on her poster, I can help others by spreading love and joy. So I'd like to,
Very nice.
Carmela, would you like to come up? And what we did was we took your poster and we enlarged it and then we framed it for you. So we have it as a frame, and then we also have some extra copies for your family and friends as well.
Thank you.
So would you like to hold that? And then we'll get the second winner up here. The winner of the kindergarten through second grade category is Miles Roscom. Miles attends Centreville Elementary and is the first grade winner. And Miles' poster reads, I can help others by playing with people who don't have friends.
Wow. Wow.
So we have Miles Roscom, and he goes to Centreville Elementary School. And then Carmela Rogers, she also attends, Sothersville Elementary, the Judy Center.
Oh, yeah.
And then we also have Mary Foster and Summer Alton with us this evening from Shore United Bank, and they have generously donated a gift card for the winners. You're welcome. Thank you. You're welcome.
Wow. I wish I could draw.
Yeah.
Give them a big round of applause for their
So
hard
let's get a picture. If we can get them to come up, we're going to get a picture.
And then we'll do a photo. Yes. Okay. Just tell us how you like it.
We're going to face that door.
Okay.
And we're going to turn you this way, because you guys are the main attraction here.
Push that in.
And Margie.
Come on up.
Yeah.
Everybody might as well just come up. We'll make this big. Big old group over there. Come on in.
And if you need to open that door and go all the way back, go right ahead.
No, phones are awesome.
There you go.
Congratulations.
Can you Photoshop Parker Reno?
Here's some pencils for you guys. These are guaranteed that you guys will do well in your next.
Thank you so much. Yeah, just reach out to us.
Singing? That's a different group, yeah. I think that's all, yeah. Is Bill?
And we do have a proclamation.
Yes, and you do.
Whenever
Yep.
we're ready.
Go ahead, Jen.
Ready?
Go ahead, yep. Uh-huh.
All right, I have the proclamation, 2317. Whereas the month of April has been designated the month of the young child by the state of Maryland, And whereas children are vitally important to the state and to the future of this country. And whereas a safe and stable environment for our children is of importance to Queen Anne's County. And whereas we know that as a community, we must ensure that our children are healthy emotionally, physically, intellectually, and mentally in order to promote successful growth into adulthood. And whereas a community know the importance of working with agencies and schools in helping our young children to be ready for school and to continue to be successful in their school career. And whereas we recognize the importance of being intentional in building positive assets and opportunities for our children. And whereas we recognize the importance of seeing our children as a positive resource for the present and future of our community. And whereas we realize that it takes all community members to help our children grow in positive ways and in character. And whereas we call upon Queen Anne's County citizens to join together to ensure love, laughter, and encouragement is a daily part of our children's lives. Now therefore, we, the County Commissioners of Queen Anne's County, do hereby designate the month of April as the month of the young child in Queen Anne's County.
Very good, yes, thank you.
Any relation to Lewis?
Pardon me?
Any relation to Lewis?
Yes, he's my other half.
Gotcha, gotcha. Now, you still work in our libraries, don't you? Do you work in our
No,
libraries?
I work at Canera Foundation.
Okay.
At the Chesapeake Business Park.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Well, tell Lewis I said hello, please.
I will, thank you. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you for coming out tonight.
Thank you.
Congratulations to the winners.
Great.
All right, Commissioners, we're just a few minutes ahead of schedule. We do have our
You're gonna have to
tax
skip the
set-off
next one.
hearing. That is an advertised public hearing of
We have to go to
sorts,
the
so we have
next.
to wait until 6:05 to begin that.
Or we can do some action items.
Do some action items?
We can do some action items unless, I don't see Ms. Mirando. But yeah, we can do some action items if you like.
3.
Yep.
You want to go to tab number 3, please? So we'll go to tab 3. And let me see, tab 3, item 1, on page 1, is a memo from the Department of Corrections, and this is a request to bring on a registered nurse for the medical assistance treatment program. And this is an immediate request to hire a registered nurse to monitor and provide nursing care for inmates at the detention center. This is through the Health Department and the University of Maryland program per House Bill 116. There is grant funding available to cover the expense for the balance of this year and next year. So we would be requesting to be able to move forward with that.
I move to hire a registered nurse for the MAT program being administered by the Department of Corrections using the grant funds provided by the Opioid Operational Command Center FY22 Examination and Treatment Act grant program.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Is there any discussion?
I just have a question. So this is going to be something that we're going to have to fund in the third year out?
Possibly.
Possibly, yes, Commissioner.
Okay.
Yes.
That's all I have.
Any other discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? So moved, 5-0.
Thank you, Commissioners. Item 2 on pages 2 through 4. This is the semi-annual property tax payment service fee. Annually, we provide the opportunity for property taxpayers to pay in installments. And this allows us, we have to report this back to SSTAT to say if we're going to charge interest or a fee for the lost interest that we would have otherwise gained if the payment would have been made, as a one-time payment in September. So we, once again, are recommending to waive that fee to our constituents for the 23-24 tax year.
I move to submit to the Department of Assessments and Taxation an approval form for the establishment of county and municipal fees for semi-annual property tax payments, a service charge in the amount of 0%.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Any discussion on this item?
So if we didn't, it would be
A fee?
a tax.
Yeah.
We'd have to put a fee on if anybody that would select that, I'm going to pay my property bill
Semi-annual.
in two payments, I'd have to pay an additional service fee for that.
Any other discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? So moved, 5-0.
Okay, thank you, Commissioners. Item 3 on pages 5 through 15, we have a series of policies from our Human Resources Director via the Employee Communication and Morale Committee, and they include contract employees, criminal charge notifications, employee assistance program, EAP, and shift differential pay. And notably here, we are recommending an increase in the shift differential pay from 30 cents for some departments, 60 cents for some departments, and 5% for our sanitary district. We want to make those all uniform at $1, so we have consistency across the board for our workforce. So that would be included in our FY24 proposed budget.
I move that the policy revisions for the contract employees, criminal charge notification, employee assistance program, and shift differential be adopted as outlined in the memo and to be effective July 5th, 2023.
I'll second that.
Thanks.
We have a motion and a second. Any discussion? I'm honestly kind of surprised that it's only $1, so, just because I know others that do
You
it.
can amend the motion if you like.
No,
Commissioner, if you want to
we're
make it-
good right there.
Well, let's see what I think it's good to do it.
Yeah,
It's the
I do
first
too.
time, and then see
Yep.
what it does, and if
Yep.
it,
Yep.
I think it's a reasonable.
Yeah, I think it is, very much so, so that's good. So no other discussion, all those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed? So moved.
All right, thank you, Commissioners. Item 4 on page 16, this is Budget Amendment CC 41 for the Parks Department, POS land acquisition. And this amendment establishes budget authority in the POS land acquisition account from the DNR grant for a total amount of $551,055.
I make a motion to support Budget Amendment CC-41.
second?
We have a motion and a second, any discussion? Is this from 2018 till present?
Yes, this covers the years 2018 through 2023 and puts all the POS grants in this account so that we can draw those down for property acquisitions for various.
So we received these funds in those years, and we're just now putting them together, and we're going to now move forward to spend them?
That's correct.
Okay, I just want to clarify that. Okay, good. Never hurts to have more funding, so. Any other discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? So moved. 5-0.
Commissioners, that is all of our action items. We do have the Department of Public Works. We're just about at 6:05. Maybe we can do one more presentation?
Sure.
Is that okay?
Yep.
Okay. Next we have is Christy Miranda here. Christy Miranda
Nope.
was our public safety group out there. Okay. Got 2 proclamations here. If not, we will, I can introduce the tax offset hearing piece, and we can start with their testimony at 6:05.
Mm-hmm.
Someone's going to be here for this?
Yeah.
That's Public Works. All right, we can,
Take a
Yeah.
2-minute recess?
we can.
We're good, let's go.
We can
It's
move on.
6:05 somewhere.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's right. All right, under presentations, tab number 6, item 3, pages 3 through 4, we have the annual tax offset hearing with our incorporated towns, all of our friends from the municipalities. This is pursuant to County Ordinance 1328 and of the property tax article of the Annotated Code of Maryland. County Commissioners are required to provide for tax offsets for the municipal corporations in our county. We have 2 options available for the determination of the offset, or the set-off, I should say. And that would be a tax differential rate or a direct aid payment to each of the towns. After discussions, we met with the municipalities at the March 8th Council of Governments meeting. We reviewed all the data they submitted, and we met with representatives from each of the towns. So we have a preliminary slate of payments and offsets for each of the towns in your book. And we always ask our friends from the towns to come in and make a few comments if they choose to at this hearing this evening, if there's any adjustments they want to present to the commissioners. So we will call those individuals up by alphabetically, starting with Town of Barclay. Virginia Alberts, yep. Come on up, Virginia.
Hello, everyone.
Hello.
Hello.
Here for the town of Barclay in Sudlersville.
That's right, double duty, that's right.
I just want to thank you for your support for the year. We're excited to say that Sudlersville awarded the bid to Bramble So we're going to be working on the sewer project, which is a big deal for Barkley. We have a public meeting scheduled for the 19th at Reeb. So we'll discuss with the residents, the pricing and how it's going to work and things like that. So we're really excited. I think we're good with, I think you gave us $10,000 last year, so that would be great if you could help us out with that again. Anybody have any questions?
No, not really, but this is their,
Yeah, the aid payment we had listed here for the town of Barkley was $18,012, right? Yeah.
Okay.
I
That sounds
think we-
good.
Yep,
And
that sound good?
43 for Sudlersville, right?
Yes. Something like
Okay.
that. Well, you,
Well, said she was doing Barkley and Sudlersville.
We can, we have
Sudlersville.
Town Councilman
gotta
Keith
get my
Griffith. You want to come
partner
on up,
up here.
Keith, come on up, Keith. We'll go a little out of sequence here since we're doing.
Sorry, everyone, for breaking up the alphabetical way of doing things. First off, I want to second Virginia. I just want to thank you guys for your commitment to the municipalities and residents of the county. It doesn't go unnoticed. It's not a very easy job to sit where you guys all sit at, and ladies. But we appreciate all that you guys do. And it's nice just to see that project for the Barkley extension coming to fruition. It was a long, hard task.
Long
Trying to
time
figure out
coming.
a good word for it, but we'll go with task. But and I think Alan Quimby should be recognized because he is nothing short of amazing. That man, without him and Virginia and a couple other key players, we'd probably still be spinning tires and spending money. And we did as a team in about 12 or so months what wasn't done in 14 or 15 years. So that speaks volumes of the hard work that everyone put in. So I appreciate all that and the support of the county in making sure that we reach that end goal.
Keith, what will the Barkley extension do for overall capacity for Sudlersville's plant? Where will it take? Do they have an estimate on a percentage?
No, we figure there's going to be probably 83 connections, and we're going to leave some extra, potential for connections for Barkley residents. What it's going to do mostly is help the plant run more efficiently and help bring in more revenue to
Or
cover the
users.
cost of that without increasing the operational costs. We've been at a deficit since that plant's been online, and we're finally going to be able to help get to where it needs to be. And we did discover that we probably have more capacity left available than we realized. The previous operator was pumping the lagoons back through the system, so that showed us flow, even though that was their way of maintaining control of the levels of the lagoons. So that wasn't actual flow coming into the plant, it was just being recirculated. So that was really hampering where we thought we were. So now the potential is there for other possible projects if they ever should arise, or growth, which will be big for everyone surrounding, Sudlersville and northern Queen Anne's County, because there's not a whole lot there for the people on the northern end of the county as far as shopping and such. So maybe some businesses will line up to try to move into Sudlersville and Barkley and such, especially with them having the ability to utilize sewer to help with that.
all right, very good.
And then the only other thing would be, I guess we're keeping the library as a line item like last year, so we don't need to make special requests for that. And I appreciate you guys for that as well, because that made a lot of people very happy last year, as you all saw. So it's very much appreciated.
Awesome. Good to go.
The Jimmy Fox Museum.
Man, the Jimmy Fox Museum, we would like to do something with the bank in the town of Sudlersville that used to be PNC, because there's a lot of things they don't have the ability to show off that should be shown. And we've even considered maybe trying to do something like a Queen Anne's County Hall of Fame and allow some outside influences. But, Sudlersville had Jimmy Fox. We had a lot of people that have done a lot of amazing things that deserve to be recognized.
Trapp had a Homer
Johnson, I think. He was a Hall of Famer, too.
Right, you know, and you have Harold Baines and,
Harold
you know,
Baines,
St.
St.
Michael's.
Michael's.
So we don't want to really just restrict it to that, but it would be a way to draw people to the county and for them to see things. We have Jeff Hopkins that was #1 archery shooter in the world for countless years that I've stayed in contact with. You know, so there's a lot of people from our little northern Queen Anne's County area that are, you know, have accomplished some pretty amazing things, and it'd be nice to have a way to, you know, honor and recognize all of them.
Awesome.
So we'll
Great.
hopefully have updates on that for the coming future. We'll see.
There you go.
We're working with the Hall of Fame to try to make something happen.
Nice.
So
I'd love to have a tour of the Jimmy Fox. I love baseball, so let me
okay,
know.
we'll
Invite me
set
up.
that up. We'd love to have you there.
I'd like to come up and take a look,
Send you an email.
please.
Thank you guys for your time.
Thank you.
Thanks, Virginia.
Thank you both, yeah. Great.
Centerville.
All right.
You flying solo tonight?
Looks like it. We have 5 council members, so one of us is always available for
There you
something
go.
like
Good,
this.
very good.
And I
And I
know
guess-
these hearings used to be a lot more exciting than, and I'm glad we have worked things out, so that's no longer the case. And the town of Centerville appreciates well, residents appreciate the tax differential that they will hopefully receive this year.
So they will, so.
So I'll
And
say
that's-
no more in case I say something wrong, you guys change your mind, so.
So,
Thank you.
yeah, no, that rate's at 1,300, so, yeah, that's
Yep.
very good. Thank you. Church Hill, let's see, now who is that gonna be? Sir Charles.
Commissioner?
Gentlemen, Mr. President,
How you doing, bud?
fellow commissioners, thank you for the opportunity to speak this evening. I was just counting them up, this is my 29th meeting that I've attended for the town of Churchill for this.
If it's not broken, don't fix it.
Okay, well, that's what they say. I want to thank you all for, over the years, we've worked out the system, unlike what we had many years ago, and it's worked, in my opinion, very, very well for the town of Churchill. And the town of Churchill is a municipality of about 810 residents, just so you know. And this tax set off, or we take the direct payment, makes up about 10% of our general fund budget. So it's much needed and much appreciated. And again, I want to shout out to county staff because they've been excellent to work with. First of all, the sheriff's office, who's done a fantastic job working on traffic speed enforcement through the town of Churchill. The county.
I see him every morning,
There you go. And they've got traffic slowed down, I can tell you.
and I have yet to get a ticket. I'd like to point that out.
Yeah, there you go. The County Department of Public Works, those guys have been excellent. Again, I'll echo the comments regarding Alan Quimby. Anytime we have a question regarding our sewage treatment plan, we can reach out to them for their expertise, even though we manage our own through our contractor, Maryland Environmental Service. The Roads Department has been fantastic to us. We maintain our own town streets, but again, it's good to be able to reach out to those fellows based on their expertise and experience, especially in areas of road construction, and their advice. Quite frankly, they advised us 3 years ago, our town-owned streets that we had were all tar and chip, and they advised us if there was any, and they maintained them for us. We paid them as a subcontractor, and they've been wonderful to deal with. They advised us to see if we could swing it to replace those tar and chip streets with asphalt, and which we did, and it's the best thing we've ever done. I mean, it's excellent. And then, last but not least, the county parks personnel. That big park up there is in the corner of Churchill, the northeast corner of Churchill, in our town limits. And I can tell you that new turf field that's been installed up there is fantastic. Everybody's talking about it. I've had an opportunity to talk and meet with Steve Chanley. And we've had some ongoing discussions to possibly in the future add a tennis court, maybe a pickleball court, and maybe do some fish pond maintenance up there. I had provided him, the town was, as you may recall, the town was a partner in obtaining that ground and working the design and everything with the county. And we brought it in the town limits to be able to provide it with sewer because it wouldn't perk up there. And I provided Steve with the 1999 concept plan that was there, and it's still pretty much the same, but there are a few pieces there that, for whatever reason, predominantly budget, it never got built out. It's room there for it, so we're having those discussions now about maybe moving forward on that over the next year.
Commissioner, you said pickleball and what?
Huh?
Tennis.
Pickleball and tennis court. And we've had people, residents as well as people that visit that park have asked as well. And on the initial concept drawing, there was going to be a tennis court. 99 pickleball wasn't a thing, but tennis was. But from what I can gather more recently from newer residents, pickleball is a big deal. Yep. And I understand from reading the paper down on the south end of the county, it's a real big deal. So, but I can tell you, as I stated earlier, this payment represents about 10% of our general fund budget. We're a small shop. We've got one full-time employee, but a lot of volunteers, me included. And that's how it's always operated, and most of our work's done by contractors. And in some cases, the county serves as subcontractor for us because they give us the best deal in the county. So, and we really appreciate it. One thing you may have seen up there, and I know we work with the Upper Shore Regional Council through Jack to get a grant through you guys to do the negotiation for a cell tower. It's up. You'll see it. It's sitting on our sewage treatment plant, and it's about 180 feet tall. It's got room for 5 vendors, if you will, and the current anchor, if you will, is Verizon Wireless, and we're just waiting. It's up. It looks great, but we're waiting for the fiber optic line to be run to the tower. And as you all know, and I know Todd and I talked about it, he had some calls up there. We were having issues with people calling 911 and calls were dropping. It was a dead area. And once this is up and going, we believe it's going to be a tremendous asset. So, again, I thank you, gentlemen, for everything. And if you need anything from us, or if you have any questions for me, you can ask them now, or you know how to get them.
Very well.
All right, thank you.
Hopefully we see you next year.
Yes.
Yeah, well, it's my 30th year.
That's right. Thank you. Thank you, Charlie.
Next year, right?
Yeah.
From you.
The town of Millington, anybody? Nope. The town of Queen Anne. Oh, no Queen Anne.
Scratch.
How about Queenstown? No Queenstown.
Yeah, it's
We
right
got
there.
Queenstown. Oh, yeah.
There she is, okay.
Hi, it's me again.
Yes, how you doing?
Haven't been here for 30 years, but sometimes it feels like it. I tell you, when I go back and I read the comprehensive plans, the first one when I moved to Queenstown, we're still trying to figure out how to do some of these things. So, 20 years later, things move sometimes at their own pace. I'd like to agree with Churchill that the process we've been using is infinitely better in that we have a chance to present both data and anecdotal stories about why we think that a municipality should get a tax differential. And having that chance to have that one-on-one discussions rather than having, a somewhat adversarial hearing, which I've been to many of them, it not only makes the life easier, but it makes planning easier. When you have some idea about what, your property taxes are gonna be and the services you provide and how they mesh together, it just makes looking forward with a longer range a lot I don't want to say the word easier, but it's more methodical as you go forward. So again, I'd like to thank everybody. I'd like to thank you for the offset, and I'll make my plea once again for a contribution for fireworks.
Don't do that yet.
Don't do that?
Not yet.
Not yet?
Not yet.
Okay, I
Wait till we
won't do
finish.
it.
Wait till we finish.
Okay, so I won't ask for that. I guess we've got Comcast moving down the road?
Yeah, a lot of things coming with Comcast, yeah. Not really, can't put a whole lot of details out there yet, but they're coming.
They're moving right along, okay.
They're
Well,
coming.
they've been knocking on our door, and, you know, we have an Atlantic Broadband, now Breeze Line, and it will be really nice to have
Competition.
options. Optionality makes a big difference to a lot of people. So I thank you all for starting that project and making that available. So once again, thank you all.
Thank
Glad
you.
to be here.
Thank you
Glad
for
to
coming
see
in.
everybody again.
Absolutely.
Thank you.
Templeville. No Templeville. Okay.
Okay, so to round out the offset hearings, I'd like to just go ahead and recommend now, so we don't have to do it individually, that we match what we did for fireworks for all the towns that we did it for last year and be done with it, rather than having them come back individually like they did last year, if everybody's good with it.
I'm good with it.
Is that a motion?
Is that a motion?
I'll second
That's a motion, yeah.
Second.
We have a motion and a second on the
So just so everybody
same
knows, that's
allocation. as-
Sudlersville, Queenstown, and Centreville was the other three we did last year.
Okay.
Yep.
And the same dollar,
amounts.
same
Yep.
dollar amount as last year.
Yep.
All right.
Any
Very good.
discussion on that? Seeing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
5-0. You got to write that one in, Margie.
I'll go back and look and see what we
Okay,
did last year.
there you go. Okay. And then if we could get a motion on the,
I move to set the differential rates and aid payment amounts for and to the municipalities for fiscal year 2024 as shown in the attached schedule that we just reviewed.
Second.
we have a motion and a second. Any discussion on that? Seeing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? So moved.
That includes the folks who weren't present.
Absolutely, yeah, no, we just, yes, absolutely. Very good.
All right, Commissioners, that concludes our set-off hearing for the 2023-24 budget year. So thank you very much, and thank you all for coming today to
Thank you, guys.
present today. Appreciate that. All right, so continuing with presentations, item number 4, again, we're in tab 6, item 4, page 5, we have Miss Christy Mirando, the Rape Crisis Center Director for all seasons, and we have a proclamation for Sexual Assault Awareness Month. So come on up, please, Christy.
How you doing?
Good, how are you?
Thank you for coming.
Thank you.
Would you like to,
Sure.
Introduce yourselves.
Sure, I'm Christy Mirando. I'm the Director of Victim Services at For All Seasons Behavioral Health and Rape Crisis Center. And I'm here just to, Sexual Assault Awareness Month is an annual opportunity to reflect our work to prevent sexual violence.
And I'm Shannon Temple. I am the forensic nurse examiner for Shore Regional Health Program Coordinator there. So we are a group of nurses that are called on an on-call basis to anyone that experiences sexual violence, and we respond to all 4 of our ERs on the shore.
wow. So you travel not only Queen Anne's County,
Cambridge, the emergency room in Dorchester, Easton, Queen Anne's County, and Chestertown.
okay.
The Shore Regional Health.
So if someone was in that situation and they've kept it to themselves because it's very painful,
Yes, sir.
how could they reach you? Can you share your website? Can you share your phone number?
Sure. Any of the emergency rooms should be able to hook up with one of our nurses if you would call into any of the emergency room nurses, as far as Shore Regional Health and the Shore Regional Health emergency room nurses can reach me as the program director, or any of our on-call nurses. There's a group of about 5 nurses right now that provide 24 hours a day, 365 days a year coverage. So,
And we respond as well, so we work 24 hours, same counties, all 5 counties on the Eastern Shore, Mid-Shore region, and you can reach us at our crisis line, and we can help support them to get where they need to be, to the ER and stuff. And 410-820-5600, and that's our 24-hour crisis hotline for All Seasons Behavioral Health.
So are you allowed to, share any statistics? I mean, is it on the rise? Is it?
very much so. It is on the rise. Nationwide, I think within our proclamation, it gives some statistics, but 81% of women and 43% of men report experiencing some form of sexual harassment or assault throughout their lifetime.
Really?
Did you see any changes with COVID?
We continued responding during COVID. It was really important that we continued providing that services to the emergency room. I don't have statistics yet from COVID. It takes a while for the statistics to kind of catch up with it. But personally speaking, the cases that I was involved with, there was a lot more violence and being kind of in closed doors, if you will.
And that's where they come in, right?
Absolutely. And it's on the whole shore, from myself in the emergency room to EMS to law enforcement to the advocates, we have a really good team. It is a lot of agencies that we work with and work together collaboratively, but it's really important, I think, also that people realize that we are here. That this, a lot of times people think of what we do as something that you have to get done in the city or, in a big hospital, but all 4 of our shore ERs are capable of providing these services to any victims of sexual violence if they need it.
Is that a full-time job for you, or is this?
It is not.
Okay, all right, well.
It is not.
Thank goodness. Okay, and we have a proclamation.
Patrick's got it.
Patrick, there you
Do
go.
you mind if I read this?
Yep.
Proclamation 2315. Whereas sexual violence is widespread, it impacts everyone, including families, homes, schools, and workplaces. Sexual Assault Awareness Month aims to raise public awareness about sexual violence and educate the communities about how to prevent it. And whereas rape, sexual assault, and sexual harassment harm our community and carry a tremendous emotional and financial costs, leading to long-term physical and psychological health problems, including chronic pain, anxiety, post-trauma, stress disorder, and sexually transmitted diseases. And whereas nationwide, 81% of women and 43% of men reported experiencing some form of sexual harassment and or assault in their lifetime. And whereas the 2023 theme of this year's Sexual Assault Awareness Month campaign focuses on equity and respect, calling on individuals, communities, organizations, and institutions to understand disparities and change the system to improve and respect within the community. In the U.S., 29% of black women were raped in their lifetime. 35% of Hispanic women reported unwanted sexual contact in their lifetime. 33% of adults with intellectual disabilities have experienced sexual violence, and 47% of all transgender people have been sexually assaulted in their lifetime. And whereas working together to educate, speak out, and prevent sexual assault in our communities is the best gift we can give to survivors and our children, and prevention is possible when everyone gets involved. Whereas Queen Anne's County supports the experts who work to identify and prevent sexual violence and is dedicated to providing services and alternative avenues for survivors to seek proper care and treatment. And whereas Sexual Assault Awareness Month and each day of the year is an opportunity to stand with survivors, to celebrate progress in combating these crimes, and to recommit to reducing sexual violence in Queen Anne's County. Now therefore, the County Commissioners of Queen Anne's County do hereby recognize April as Sexual Assault Awareness Month in Queen Anne's County and call this observance to the attention of all of our citizens. Signed, all 5 commissioners.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank
for your
you.
commitment and dedication.
Yes,
Thank you.
very much.
Thank you for supporting us.
Thank you for having us.
Thank you for what you do.
Absolutely.
Picture, Jim.
They would like to do a picture.
Absolutely.
Move up. Right there, there you go.
Want to hold a proclamation?
Oh, that would be smart.
Sorry about that.
Got it? Yeah. Well, there you go.
You got it? I got it. Yeah, take it. Okay, Commissioners, item number 5, page 6, we have a proclamation for National Public Safety Dispatcher Week. So we have several public safety dispatchers on standby. Item 5, page 6, should be, I think somebody has it there. Tab.
Long time no see.
I don't know. Well, tab 6, item 5, I'm sorry. It's okay.
You're in good company.
Should be right. Should be one back.
So who's going to speak?
So you're on the hook.
We're currently forwarding all our calls to county, so we're kind of in a hurry. I'm joking. But we took our finest out of the dispatch room tonight.
So I tell you what, let's do this. So let's start with you and work our way down. Introduce yourself and tell us what you do for DES.
So I work in communications. Effective tomorrow, I'll be officially Sergeant Corey Vive. I work on A shift. I'm actually working today. So I'll leave here. I'll be going back.
Very good.
Name?
Corey Vive.
I didn't hear it. I'm sorry.
Here.
I'm dispatcher Kyle Thompson. I'm on C shift, so I work tomorrow for DES dispatch.
I'm dispatcher trainee Lee. This is my trainer Kyle, also on the same shift as him.
So, as you know, I'm Phil English, Chief of Communications. Recently assumed that position from another county position. I've had the fortunate pleasure of working with this group so far, and I ran a few stats from last year to today's date. Our team handled 67,000 calls. Of those 67,000 calls, 29,000 of those were 911 calls. That's roughly 180 calls per day per shift. 911 calls around 80 per shift. Without them, our first responders wouldn't be able to gather the important information that's necessary to respond and handle the calls in an effective manner. So this week is simply a highlight of all the hard work and determination that they do on a regular basis. And it should be noted that they do this job every single day. And the type of calls that they're handling are not always good calls. So we're definitely proud of them for all their hard work.
So I had an opportunity to, and I'm sure the rest of the guys, I don't know Patrick yet, but to get a tour of the new 911 facility there and talk about state of the art. I think it makes the NASA launch pads, NASA look bad, but obviously it's well worth it. I mean, when you're talking about 67,000 calls a year, that's crazy.
A lot going on in that room.
Yes, it is. Wow.
Well, I had a tour, but I had to invite myself. I wasn't invited.
What? All right,
So
Jack?
yes, I got the proclamation. I just want to say thank you to all of you. You guys are the first, you guys get the call. I mean, any emergency in the county, you guys are the first ones. You got to deal with hysterical people, cats up trees, dogs not up trees, cats up, you run the whole gamut, and I know emotionally it's got to take a toll on you to work those hours and get them 67,000 calls. I don't even like taking 4 a week, so I can't imagine what that's like. So, thank you again for all you do. And I have Proclamation 2314, whereas emergencies can occur at any time that require police, fire, or emergency medical, and whereas public safety dispatchers are not visible as the men and women who arrive at the scene of emergencies but provide a vital link of public safety services as part of the first responder team. Each telecommunicator has exhibited compassion, understanding, and professionalism during the performance of their job in the past year. And whereas public safety dispatchers are critical to our county's emergency response and homeland security services, dispatching law enforcement, emergency medical services, firefighters, and other emergency responders 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. And whereas the safety of our police officers, firefighters, and medical responders is dependent upon the quality and accuracy of information obtained from citizens and visitors who contact the Queen Anne's County Communications Center. And whereas professional public safety dispatchers are a vital link between citizens and victims and the first and most critical contact our citizens have with emergency services. And whereas public safety dispatchers serve as the single most vital link for our first responders by monitoring their activities by radio, providing them information, and ensuring their safety. And now, therefore, the County Commissioners of Queen Anne's County declare the week of April 9th through 15th, 2023 to be National Public Safety Dispatcher Week in Queen Anne's County in honor of the men and women whose diligence and professionalism keep our county and citizens safe. So thank you.
So just a quick question for the newbie. So, considering the training, and I imagine it's intense, and constantly being monitored, what made you decide you wanted to become a 911 dispatcher?
Maybe I'm a little crazy. I come from a family of first responders. I like to help people, and that's ultimately what it kind of boiled down to. I saw a job opening. I was working in the healthcare industry. I was feeling a bit burnt out after COVID, and I figured this would be my next best step to still be able to continue helping people.
Good.
And it's amazing work that we do.
And she's doing a good job?
Doing a great job.
Very good.
How long is the training process?
I'm coming up on being hired for about a year now. I just recently got back from maternity leave, so that's delayed my training a little bit. So hopefully soon.
Hopefully within next week she'll be cleared to go.
Okay, good.
Very good. Congratulations and welcome aboard.
Yep.
Thank you.
Thank you all.
Boy or girl?
Girl. Oh, yeah.
All right.
Well, thank you. Appreciate it.
Good job, you guys.
Appreciate it.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, guys.
All right, moving on. We have one more presentation here this evening, and that is from our very own Heather Trinelli, the Director of Environmental and Tourism Development.
Economic Development and Tourism? I didn't know there was an
Excuse me,
environmental component to that.
Environment, economic, excuse me. And her
Heather,
team.
you're now in charge of the environment.
That's right. Thank you, Commissioner.
He's coming with me tonight. I'm taking him with me.
Are you really?
He is now. I'm pretty sure I outrank him.
All right, so Commissioners,
Everybody sits.
we have the presentation up on the screen here for your viewing pleasure. Also, it's in the book under tab 6, item 4 on pages 7 through 34.
Well, thank you for having us this evening. I'm Heather Trinelli, Director of Economic and Tourism Development. I promise we'll be brief. We've practiced to make sure we stay within our
Everybody knows their lines.
allotment. But
And
we're here.
action.
And go. Start the time clock. We wanted to give you an update as well as talk about a few budget items that we have presented or provided to Todd. And I wanted to make sure a part of our team was here. Angela Hortert and Lisa Gallo are not here today, but if you would like to introduce yourself.
Sure. I'm Rebecca Clark. I'm the Economic Development Coordinator for the department.
And Connie Dean, Career and Technology Liaison.
I'm April Plummer, the Marketing Specialist.
So I won't read our mission and vision, but our overall goal is to make sure that we are considered a valued partner, that we are the true resource for our businesses and for the community and for our visitors. First in mind when someone's looking to open or start or grow their business, that's our goal, and that we follow through with that outreach and are able to provide quality service. That's the gist of it. I really love this graphic here because it truly breaks down what we do and what our most important objectives are, and that's obviously economic development as far as business retention, expansion, attraction, workforce development, tourism development as far as advocating and marketing for tourists and visitors to come visit Queen Anne's County, workforce development, which is what Connie focuses on, starting at the high school, middle school level, working all the way through. And last but not least, community development, looking at affordable workforce housing options, infrastructure, quality of life, especially our municipalities and towns throughout the county. Don't have economic development staff, so we hope to step in and have stepped in to kind of help them along the way. Just some quick stats. I did check our unemployment rate, and actually as of end of February, it's now 2.7. We attribute that to seasonal unemployment levels, but we're still in line. We're like fourth lowest. We're not the second lowest anymore, which is kind of disappointing to me, but still great. When I started here before pandemic, it was low 3, like 3.2%. Obviously, it raised during the pandemic and has since reduced.
What's the state average right now?
3%. And there's, we're pretty much in line with many of our Eastern Shore counties, or if not lower.
Wasn't our commercial base like 8 or 9 a few years ago?
Yeah,
Good job.
it's still, we still got some work to do. It should be higher because, when you look at commercial properties, they take less resources.
No,
pay more.
congratulations.
Yeah, right. Yeah, we still have some, thank you very much. We still have some work to do, but it's definitely going in the right direction. Our enterprise zone, which runs from the Bay Bridge through to, the emergency room in Queenstown. In 2022, we had $2.7 million in approved projects and 81 jobs. This year alone, in 2023, we've recently saw a spike. We had 3 applications that were approved that plan to or either in process of capital investment of $7.6 million in capital investment. So that's a great program that we have that runs to 2027. Our Economic Development Incentive Fund, we'll talk about that in a few minutes, so I'm going to skip that part for now. And the last part that I'm going to speak on at this time is the commercial real estate sales stats. I thought it was interesting to see something that we can look at to see where we stand in the investment in commercial entities. So $15.9 million in commercial real estate sales in 2022. I also wanted to point out, looking at the stats provided from our planning department as far as permitting for commercial, whether it was renovations, improvements, additions, new construction, was about $34 million. So if you add those two together, that's about $50 million in commercial capital investment in 2022 in Queen Anne's County. Since I've been here, there were some spikes here and there, sometimes from the Hyatt when that was done. That was 20 million at least alone. So we see some spikes and dips occur, but it is something that we do watch annually and try to track that because it's important.
Right, business outreach. So in 2022, we created the Planning for Success educational series through economic development, and we brought in the Chamber of Commerce as a partner.
Microphone closer.
Sorry about that. Oh, no. Thank you. So the Chamber served as a really great partner as we built this education series. So we had 4 sessions, and you can see each one. We had a digital marketing workshop and access to capital, workforce recruitment and retention, and then kind of our key event of the year was the Strengthening the Emerging Workforce event, which we're really proud of, and Connie was the heart of that, so I don't know if you wanted to mention that, but building on the success of that, because that seemed to go over really well, it was well attended, and we felt pretty good about those. We've talked with the Chamber again, and we'll be hosting 4 more workshops in the back half of 2023. And those will have another one on access to capital. We will have another digital skills for businesses for marketing, minority business resource workshop, and a workshop specific to marijuana legalization and how that affects businesses, because that is something that they're starting to think about and ask questions about. So we kind of want to be right there. Oh, micro ag is me too. So I'm really hopeful that you've heard all about the micro ag grant program, since you're the co-sponsors of it, and we're so grateful to you for it. Thank you so much for matching the funds the last 3 years for this grant opportunity. We've been able to fund $140,000 to ag entrepreneurs, to 25 of them, which I think is a pretty great number. The funding supports their growth and sustainability, and the ones on this list are from the 3rd round that were just awarded. One of the really interesting things we've seen from these micro ag grants is the way in which the ag entrepreneurs work together, that the things that we funded are actually allowing them to collaborate and partner. We went out on a site visit to Oksana's produce. She has a commercial kitchen that she's leasing, and because she has that capability, there was another micro ag grantee, King Mushroom, and he needed a place to process, and so they worked together. So it's been really interesting to see how that really builds up all of them as they go forward. And we're also supporting the breweries. That's a big partnership. Our 5 breweries are really collaborative, work together really well, and we've been meeting with them regularly, supporting them with advertising, and we're also going to be applying for a grant on their behalf for marketing purposes. So there's a lot of different avenues that this is taken from this funding opportunity, so I want to say thank you.
Okay, so for tourism, we had over 385,000 visitors in 2021. We had a 143% increase in hotel tax collections in fiscal year 22. And we've recently added 120 hotel rooms with the Hyatt Place. And the hotel tax has increased monthly, year over year. So we look at that and it's about 25% increases over the month of last year. So we've kind of attributed that to the increased room rates and the new rooms at the Hyatt. So the increase in the $5 million was 117%. So if you look at FY21 versus 22, it basically doubled for sales and use tax. We've also looked at overnight visitors, and we tagged some of our marketing to attract foot traffic. So we can attribute our ads to 500 overnight visitors just in February. And we just try to get a sample market for that, and then we can kind of see the effectiveness of our ads. Also, we've been focusing on PR and group tours. So last week we were able to get Libby's a spot on Fox 45, and this morning Fox 45 Baltimore came here and did 3 interviews to kick off boat season. They were live this morning, so we'll post links for those when we have them. And then
Who was on that? You? Oh, good.
I did one. We did, this morning we met with Captain Meredith and did a kickoff for charter season. And then we did water trails and paddle rentals. That was the second one. And then the third, we did a boat show segment to kick that off for this weekend. So, and then we have some of our ads up here that we've used recently. We also have digital, and we have some videos scheduled to be shot as the spring season opens. Also, we focus on a 1 to 3 hour drive radius, and we focus on overnight markets to try to generate overnight visits. And then we have our 3 standout events that we focus on, which is Bay Bridge Run, Boat Show, which we sponsored this year, and we've worked with them closely, so we're really looking forward to it this weekend. And then we have the Waterman Association Basketry.
Just a quick update on the ferry feasibility study. That was the contract selection, the RFP went out, the contractor was selected. That process, our kickoff event, is supposed to happen in June with a 6-month turnaround. So at the end of 6 months, if everything works as planned in December, we'll be able to provide you with a feasibility study that will determine if it's feasible, what the pricing would look like, what the boats would look like, where they would go, how it would operate, what the routes would be. All that stuff is yet to be determined. So this is the first step in that process, and I just wanted to provide you with an update. And next is kind of
And my role tonight really is just to help highlight some of the projects going on in the area of workforce development, where we're really focusing on partnering. As you can see, the high schools, the community, the businesses, and different entities together. Wanted to provide an opportunity for you to see one of the projects that we have in place that really, most of these projects that we're going to talk about mostly tonight are really to provide career awareness for students, to promote the trades fields and career and technology education fields to students, parents, and the community, to offer businesses additional ways to share their business and their job and work opportunities with everyone, and provide simple and clear ways for students and parents to locate things like internships, youth apprenticeships, and entry-level positions for young people. So the first one I was going to talk about a little bit is just, we recognize, I'm always looking for ways that we can share more businesses with more students and share more careers with more people. We can't do field trips to every business, which we would love to do, because that's the best way to see it, is in face-to-face. So the next thought was, well, how about putting together local career awareness videos? So we're in the process of doing that. We'd like to show one to you. They're brief. It's a partnership between our division, our department, and QATV, and Queen Anne's County Public Schools, and local businesses that are willing to work with us. Started with any businesses offering an internship or youth apprenticeship. Started reaching out to them to see if they'd be interested in this. The videos, I'll say, are already being shown at the 2 high schools during their daily TV shows that they show in the morning in the school. Well, I worked with them to create a career corner where once a week there's something career related, some sort of career awareness for the students to all see. And this is an example of what we're doing.
So we are right now at Bay Bridge Airport on Ken Island. We are Chesapeake Sport Pilot. We are a flight school and more recently maintenance facility. So we service experimental aircraft, gyros. So I actually started as a flight instructor. I flew with my dad, and I realized that I really liked the hands-on aspect of everything. So we do take pride in getting people their degrees or their certifications, licenses, if you will. Basically, you can start from scratch with no experience, and after about 3 years or so, you can start pursuing your A&P, which is your airframe and power plant certification. So that gives you the ability to work on pretty much any GA aircraft that flies in here. Then you can pursue your inspector's authorization after another couple years. So more certifications means more responsibility, but you're working your way up the career ladder. We did our first run last summer. We had 2 interns. One was a recent graduate of Ken Island High School, and the other was a rising junior. The apprenticeship we offer to any high school student. You can come in and do part of your school in the morning, and then the rest of your school would actually be here with us. So you'd be getting hands-on, on-the-job training right from the source. That could prep you for your A&P if you decide to pursue that. I believe they can contact their guidance counselor at their respective high school. They can also reach out directly if the student is interested, and they can, schedule a day. They can come in here. We can kind of give them a little tour, give them an introduction, show them what we do, see if it's something that they might enjoy doing. They don't have to have that mechanical experience. Can create new habits. It's easier to start new habits than break old ones. It's really fun to work on a plane that comes in here, and you work on it and you fix it and you get it back up in the air again, and it's safe. And when you see somebody taking off in their plane, you can point up and be like, I'm the reason that plane's up in the air.
For more information, look for rack cards at businesses and schools or use the website below.
They've been a great help. Very good. Yeah, it's a great project. I'm excited about it. Could talk forever about it, but I know we have a short time. So another example on that one too is trying to also use examples of students, actually young adults in our area that graduated from our schools. Hannah Lagno graduated from Queen Anne's County High School and moved up, and so often we're trying to find someone in the business who also is a local person that everybody can relate to. The next part, some of this is new, maybe not new. Last year, we implemented the third one off to the right, rack cards for all students as they graduated with a list of entry-level job opportunities that any of the businesses offered when we requested them. We got a number of hits of people using that site. It's on our website, Queens County Economic Development website under youth. And the combination of the number of hits we got, plus the number of businesses that let me know they actually hired someone as a result of the project, decided to then expand it in the fall to have rack cards and a job list, internship and youth apprenticeship listings now also on our website. And there's a rack card for each of those separately. So working towards just promoting this to be used through the high schools, students, parents, anywhere, have the rack cards in the public libraries, different places so young people who are out of school can find job opportunities that are entry level, that are reported to us by businesses, and then also any other youth apprenticeship and internships.
All right. So, thank you. I know I don't talk loud enough. Economic development in a lot of ways is community development, and that is such a huge priority for our department. And so far for us, that has looked like engaging the towns and municipalities, either individually or through the Council of Governments, to talk about what it is they want and what their residents need. Can we help them bring in amenities that would be useful? Can we help set them up for success? And we try to offer as much as we can to make those goals happen. In Sudlersville, that looked like hosting a meeting with Department of Housing and Community Development, Maryland Department of Planning, Commerce, identifying what it is that they wanted, and then which was included a Sustainable Communities designation. So understanding, once we got in there and we understood what it is they wanted to do, we were able to look for funding sources, and so we were able to build in a project through the Rural Maryland Economic Development Fund money that's come through, and we will be supporting an economic development consultant for the town of Sudlersville for 2 years to help get them where they need to be. So a person who will understand those priorities, help them develop a comp plan, and move them forward. It also looks like us writing the grant for a feasibility study for the former Sudlersville Middle School building and finding an adaptive reuse for that.
I heard that was given to the fire department. That's not correct.
The fire department does own that building, and we've been supporting them in finding out how to pursue adaptive reuse and make that building into something that's a resource for the community.
To be determined.
Working through it right now. Yeah, it's been a great process. We've done a similar process with the town of Centreville, and have had lots of meetings and are supporting them through funding for the wastewater treatment plant upgrade that will be upcoming, we're hoping, and trying to be really responsive to everyone who reaches out and needs help. We also support Churchill in a lot of ways. And then I'll let you move through.
So one of the things I held off towards the end was our Economic Development Incentive Fund, or EDIF. That was started in 2013. And I'm just going to read this, was established to support economic development in the county, to provide financial assistance through loans, conditional loans that may revert to grants or a combination of both. And it was originally established as such. In 2013, when it was established, it was funded through recordation tax, or a small portion of that, at like $750,000. And over the years until 2016, that's how it was funded. In 2016, that stopped. And then there were several transfers from the bridge loan as it sat stagnant for a while, and those funds were moved over, and that's what funded it as we continued to offer loans. In 2019, because the funding continued to decrease, we changed the limit. So if you were to look back in the history, many of the loans were larger, $200,000, $300,000, $500,000 tops, and so we reduced the amount of the loans to $50,000, and also kind of shored up the way the agreements were written. So personal guarantees are required, security agreements on the fixed assets are required, and there's a job creation component that's always required. So we get something for the you want to make sure you get something for the monies that are given. The balance of the fund currently is at $229, and we do have some pending awards, and we actually have 3 current applications in that are going to be going to be looked at next week at the EDIF preliminarily. So we reached out to some of the recipients. One of those was Compass. Years ago, they received a $300,000 conditional loan to purchase their new headquarters. Obviously, that was a small drop in the pot. And currently, they have over 100 total jobs, full-time jobs. And Heather Guerrero, the CEO, provided a comment there. The next one we have is Powertrain Products. They received a $100,000 conditional loan. Again, a portion of what they needed to build their new building, creating 26 jobs. And then the next one that we wanted to share with you is a smaller conditional loan. This is more current. They purchased a coffee roaster and created 3 full-time equivalent jobs. And I promise this next video is brief.
Getting coffee from the source and connecting.
But this is again a testimonial.
That it's, I love roasting it and I love all that, and I love giving it to people and seeing their faces when they get a good cup of coffee. My experience with Queen Anne's County Department of Economic Development has been incredibly positive. They've been responsive and supportive from the first phone call. We were really in need of a larger roaster, a 10-kilo roaster, and we're able to partner with the Queen Anne's County Economic Development Incentive Fund to acquire that bigger roaster and help us really grow to a sustainable point as a business.
That was, again, thanks to Queen Anne's County Public Television for helping us out on creating that video. And then, if you want to keep...
Is that the one with Christian Graham? Is he part of that coffee?
I think so. It's Broswell is the last name. This is a pretty new one, a $50,000 conditional loan for Eastern Shore Urgent Care, which is right in Kingstown. That created 12 new jobs. They completely rehabbed that building, and they have been a wonderful partner. They've already created those jobs and are looking to hire more. So that was an awesome opportunity that we had to help them. And then the
Like
next
I
one.
said, Queen Anne's County Economic Development and the county commissioners busted their to get us here.
Right.
And we appreciated that.
And that was Paul Reed Smith from Paul Reed Smith Guitars. And back in 2018, he had a $50,000 conditional loan, and they are almost to 500 employees. So they are one of our largest employers. EDIF, by the numbers, I'm going to talk quickly because I know we're out of time. We created, since the inception, 1,269 jobs. Loans to date are 2.8, and again, several more, 2.8 million, and several more are in the queue. From that loan amount, it created capital investment of $37.8 million. This is but if not for this money, these companies would not be able to open, they would not be able to expand to the level that they want to expand, or they would have to obviously start off on a smaller platform to get going. So there is some risk always involved with these, but overall I feel as if, well before my time, so it's not my doing, has been a success. And the Economic Development Commission has been prudent with those funds. The enhancement or request that I have put forward is, and it sounds a lot, $1 million EDIF offering conventional loans and conditional loans. If you look at this slide here, you'll see where we're proposing that funding would come from. We currently have a balance of $230,000 in the EDIF. There's also a revolving loan fund, again, established long before my time, that has sat there unused. All the loans have been paid off, and there's currently a balance of $472,000 that we would be asking the commissioners to move over into the EDIF fund. And then lastly, the remaining portion would be a new request of $297 and change to get to that magic $1 million number. We would be also suggesting that the EDIF offers low interest loans up to $100,000 secured by fixed assets, so that would be repaying, continuing to refund the EDIF, and possibly offering some one-year payment reprieves for new businesses that are just getting started, a chance for them to get up and running before they have to make payments with varied interest rates and repayment terms, and then also continuing to offer the conditional loans that it currently does, up to $50,000 based on job creation, and possibly pairing those. It would just be on a company-by-company basis based on what they need. So that is a request that we did put forth, and after we're done, we're happy to answer any questions that you have. And then the last enhancement that we had put forth is, as you know, our visitor center is closing May 1st through November. We think about that time as they do improvements to the site, and we are hoping to do a temporary visitor center at the Queenstown Outlets in the corner where they used to offer like services where you could walk in and get your coupons and that sort of thing. It's a pretty small space. We would like to have that open as soon as we can, knowing that this closes in May, but there's just a temporary time gap from when, our budgets are approved in July and when our center will close in May. So I just wanted to point that out, where we're looking at $26,000 annually. The space is pretty inexpensive at $650 rent per month, and then, some overhead lights, electricity, phones, that sort of thing. We wouldn't have any other overhead other than that. But that's something that we did put forth in our enhancements, and wanted to bring that forward. And then the last thing I had was our QAC team, who is wonderful, and we couldn't do what we do without them.
The only thing I'd like to see, Heather, is we still have that $250,000 that we allotted for what was supposed to be apprenticeships and things like that to the college through the WIT board that's never been touched. I'd like to see that brought back over into the EDIF as well. Can be.
I think that's a great opportunity. The bridge fund and some of the other funds were set up with several different pockets of money that could be utilized for certain things, and then we internally would manage those requests to make sure they were allocated within those funds. So I have seen it done before in the past.
And Nicole could probably figure out how to get that back over, because I think it's just sitting there doing nothing right now.
Yeah.
Okay. I don't know about you guys, but I'm all good with moving revolving loan fund and all over and bringing it under one umbrella.
I have no problem with that. That's fine.
Now, the 297, you're just going to have to wait a couple more weeks, but no promises on that one right now. Because unfortunately, the Board of Ed was here before you, and they're going to be here again on Thursday, so.
I understand, but, anything that the commissioners are able to do, we're very
And I do like the ideas of breaking it out with the conditional loans and all that with the assets. I think that's going to open up some more opportunities, because interest rates at the banks right now are pretty tough for a lot of businesses to go out there and generate that kind of capital cash.
So a question for you. I was reading about a program, students build an airplane. Have anybody approached you with information about that? I don't know if it's necessarily run through the school, but these kids in can't recall the state that they're doing it in, but the students at the high school are actually building an airplane. So there's an investor that buys the kit and all the equipment that's necessary to build this airplane. The students are building this airplane. So it's a program that's going on right now. I'll get some more information, and I'll get with you on it.
Sounds good. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, ladies. Great job.
You got a lot going on, I can tell you.
Love it.
Yes. Next week.
All right, Commissioners, our last group for this evening is the Department of Public Works. They've got 5 action items, actually 4 action items, 1 proclamation. Tonight's proclamation night. This one's a doozy, but that's first up. So
make Alan read it.
Mr. Quimby, Mr. Edgar, and Mr. Moore.
You can read your own.
Want to take a minute and we'll go? All right. All right, so we will continue on. If you want to turn to tab number 2 for DPW, as I said, they have 5 items. The first being a proclamation for Maryland Flood Awareness Month 2316.
That's you, Phil.
Of course, make the insurance agent, or former insurance agent do it.
Tab
You're the
2
current
should be
insurance
the first
agent.
item in there.
You've seen a few floods.
2316,
Proclamation 23-16. Bear with me because you had a bunch of engineers write this, so
Yes,
it's
that's
very
right.
long. Whereas Governor Lawrence J. Hogan Jr., former governor of the state, the great state of Maryland, proclaimed April 2021 the first Maryland Flood Awareness Month and commended this observance to all citizens. And whereas the Queen Anne's County Board of County Commissioners likewise proclaimed April 2022 the first Flood Awareness Month in Queen Anne's County. And whereas just 1 inch of water in a home can cause up to $25,000 in damages, according to the Federal Emergency Management Agency, and floods are 4 times more likely to occur than fires. Taking steps now to be prepared will make a big difference when a disaster arrives, and that preparation will help the entire community. And whereas since 1970 there has been an increase in Atlantic hurricane activity, the 2021 hurricane season was the 3rd most active season on record, having produced 21 named storms, and the 2022 hurricane season was, according to the National Oceanic and Atmospheric Administration, the 3rd costliest season on record, despite having put only 14 named storms up in 2 major hurricanes. Whereas the number of intense storms is predicted to increase, and recent sea level rise projections for Maryland range from likely probability of 0.4 to 0.9 feet up to 1% probability of 2.3 feet by 2050, and that sea level rise will flood dry areas, particularly on the eastern shore where Queen Anne's County is located, increasing the depth of flooding, shifting regulatory floodplains further inland, and extending the reach of storm surges generating by coastal storms. And whereas many county residents are at risk and may be unaware of these changes and be uninsured or underinsured against flood hazards. And whereas spring and summer weather with increasing incidents of nuisance flooding requires residents of the Eastern Shore and Queen Anne's County to take extra precautions to ensure being safe at home during severe weather or while traveling, which includes also being up to date on weather forecasts and having an emergency kit at home and in their vehicles. And whereas the Commissioners of Queen Anne's County joined the Queen Anne's County Department of Emergency Services, Department of Planning and Zoning, and the Department of Public Works to encourage all county residents to learn more about the different flood hazards faced by individuals and communities across the state, and to provide information on what county residents can do to protect themselves, their property, and their possessions, their communities from flooding and severe weather. And now, therefore, the County Commissioners of Queen Anne's County do hereby proclaim April 2023 Flood Awareness Month here in Queen Anne's County. So
Lee doesn't get to write any more proclamations.
Yeah, that's right.
How could you
He's
tell?
done. One and done.
I got some assistance from the state on that one, so it makes it twice as bad.
No, you guys did. I know that we take shots at you engineers because you guys are always, well, sorry, Todd, but you guys are, I mean, you guys just, you think of everything, and you probably have saved the taxpayers a lot of money and flood policy holders a lot of money when it comes to having to pay for those flood insurance policies with your base flood elevation increases and coming in compliance with FEMA. So, job well done.
Yep.
That was a mouthful.
I'm still trying to digest it all.
Go ahead.
You had a nap today, didn't you?
Yeah.
Did he?
No, I didn't.
Coffee, something. Wow. He stayed at Holiday Inn Express last night.
That's
what
right.
it was.
20 years
Those
as
the man.
20 years as an insurance agent writing flood
There you go,
insurance.
yeah.
Anyway, take it away, gentlemen.
Excellent. Thank you, Commissioner Dumino. That's fantastic. Appreciate those comments. All right.
Give this to Alan.
That was not a shot on engineers, I swear.
Again, we're at tab number 2. Our first action item is item 2 on pages 2 and 3. It's the for the Board of Education Administration Building, the old Centreville High School. This is the window replacement contract award for the replacement of 150 premium fitted windows in the administrative office building. And they received, looks like 4 bids ranging from $907,806 to over $1.6 million. And I believe we are recommending the award to the lowest responsible bidder, Bloom's Contracting of Lanham, Maryland.
Have they done work for us before?
No.
Have any of these four?
Well, the third and fourth have, yes.
And?
We're happy with the third and fourth. We're a
At that
bit
price
concerned
we
with
should-
number
at that
one.
price we should be.
We're checking the references as we speak still. That's why the motion makes reference to references. But we haven't been real thrilled with what we found out so far. But we're looking into it.
How many windows?
100.
Is it 100
or
or-
a window, huh?
They're big windows.
That's a big.
Yep.
I built houses
Is-
for
is-
90,000.
Well, I guess, do we need a motion to make discussion, or can we have discussion without the
I
motion?
move to award the old Centreville High School window replacement contract to Bloom's Contracting Incorporated of Lanham, Maryland, in the amount of $907,386, and contingent upon favorable confirmation of qualifications and references on part of the vendor, authorized Director of Public Works to issue a notice of award and execute the contract on behalf of the county commissioners.
And forgive me, Commissioner Wilson, it's 150 windows.
Okay, so about 7,500 a window. Oh, second, I'm sorry.
We have a motion and a second. Now, discussion. Was this the state grant?
Yes.
Is this funding?
250,000.
Just 250, right?
250 was
Originally
state
asked for
grant.
$1 million though, right? Wasn't it?
So, how long do we have to spend that money?
It's spent by the end of this fiscal year.
So.
In the end of this fiscal year or next
June 30?
June 30.
of this year? I got a problem. I just think that we don't know what this building's going to be repurposed to, or to whom, or what, or if it's going to stay, if it's going to go, if it's going to be reduced down to the original school size, and we're going to put $1 million worth of new windows in it.
We're just putting new windows in the old two-story section, is that correct?
That's correct. Yeah, it would be just the two-story section, so those original two buildings there. The portions in the rear, we aren't doing anything with those.
Right.
Are you suggest that we might,
Hold off. What, I mean,
no, that we're gonna build another high school, or we have
No,
the whole thing?
no, not at all. This isn't used as a high school. This is a Board of Ed's administration building, which we are building them a new one.
Oh.
And this is $1 million worth of money that we're going to spend, and we don't know what the building's going to be, or who's going to use it, and if they might alter it in any way, or I mean, these are the engineers.
That's a political question. That's on you.
Oh, but as an engineer, just hypothetically speaking, would you put $1 million in windows in a building you don't know what the building's going to be used for?
If I knew it was going to be repurposed for something, I would. Again, I guess it's a political question.
Right.
Let me ask you a question. The window's obviously old. Are they causing, is their age causing any structural issues of the building by leaving what's there? I guess my question.
There are some windows that have some moisture intrusion, everything. A lot of the windows at the rear of the building are original to the building. Some in the front have been replaced in the decades previous. None of them meet present standards with regard to thermal efficiency and, keeping out moisture. To answer the question, I think when posed with the question, if we put some money into stabilizing the building, where is the best place to put it? We looked at mechanical and those types of things. We thought, well, windows, irrespective to what purpose the building might have, it's a pretty safe bet that those windows would be usable for any future use. That's why we selected windows. HVAC is something that you really need to know the use before you can design that in order for it to be effective.
Would it be safe to say that not all the windows need to be replaced?
No.
Is it 10%, 20%?
No,
or
it's
100?
all of them.
But I mean, to buy time.
Could they be phased, I guess is what Patrick's asking.
Thank you.
Could you do, a priority of a particular set, maybe 10 windows or 15 windows at a time, starting with these, they're the worst, or maybe 20 of them are the worst? Or is there any way you can gradually do this, or?
You certainly, but I don't know that it's
Cost effective.
Yeah.
cost effective or really makes any sense, honestly.
Let me ask another stupid question. Based on supply chain issues, elevated costs of construction materials, what in your mind would be the percentage savings to look at, waiting and see if things track back closer to what they were, just say even a year and a half ago?
Well, you're gonna sacrifice the $250,000 in grant funds.
I got that. Let's look past that, though. Are we going to save $250,000?
I don't think so.
No?
I mean, I don't know. I can't predict the future any better than you can, but.
Yeah, no,
I don't see things going backwards. Not in the near term, not in the next 5 years, I don't think.
So I'm obviously new at this, so if you were to first off, can that building, what would it cost to redo that building to state code that it could be used for the county, for the Department of Education? Is that possible?
I'm sure you would be in the 8 to 10 million range.
I thought it was more than that. We did a study.
I think it was 11 at the study, but
Yeah.
It was 11.
And that was
The new building
old.
was at 11 too, and it's gone up to.
Yeah, right, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah,
So-
that would have been elevated, because that
And
was
a
a
new
few years
building
ago.
is how much? 30?
What's the new cost right now?
Approximately 15 million right now, if memory serves me correct.
Right. And the study showed that refurbishing the building would be as expensive as building a new one and still would not get it up to code.
Right, because it wouldn't have had the
The
elevator.
ADA, the sprinkler systems,
Right.
asbestos, whatever, it's all going on.
And the study did not know about hidden issues and the cost associated with that,
I'm scared.
right?
That was God.
That was God telling you, Alan.
You scared the hell out of me.
Next time somebody flicker the lights a little bit or something.
This is God speaking.
Bruce, cue the lightning.
Cue the lightning.
That's what I mean, do we forego the 250,000? Does it have to be spent on the windows, or can you spend on anything?
It was designed for, well, it was set up for exterior building envelope
Yeah.
functions,
Okay.
windows, roof, doors, that kind of
So
stuff.
our capital
Took
outlay
that.
is going to be about $750 then, right?
Yeah.
Yes, yeah, the county put up $750, and we had a $250,000 grant. I mean, we could certainly table this since there's some concern about the low bidder, since they're still checking references, and we can come back in a couple of weeks. I think we
Do
could.
we have to spend the 750 in order to utilize the 250?
I don't believe so.
Could we just spend 300?
No, it's a straight grant. There's no matching on it, I don't think. I think it was a straight.
So we could do
It's out of the budget.
$250,000 worth of windows.
There you go.
It was the governor's, yeah, it was a governor in the governor's budget, so it doesn't have any strings attached.
Right. Until we know what we're gonna do with the building, what's gonna happen, it just seems like we're throwing away money. I don't wanna say throwing away, but you never know. That's all.
Is the decision, sorry to ask these questions, but is the decision made to not refurbish this building?
No.
No.
It's not made.
No, we have a committee and everything looking into it, and
Yeah, no decision's been made what to do
Right.
with the old Board of Education Administration building as of yet. There's been a number of ideas, whether it's for housing, for educational purposes,
Right.
CTE school, but again, it's going to be a huge capital investment
Right.
to take it to that next level once we get, the Board of Ed function out of that building.
It can't, if we were to rehab it for whatever you said, 11 million, the Board of Ed would not stay there. They don't want to stay there.
No.
well, we're building them a new one now.
Building them a new building.
Yeah.
Well, they've floated the idea of maybe having a career development,
Yeah.
or
They
career
wanna use it for
CTE
something,
programs there, with culinary potentially, but there could be some facet of Board of Education use there. But we haven't made that final decision.
Yeah, I have,
I have hesitations to make the decision tonight, because I got to think about it. Quite frankly, to sit here and spend $1 million and just really, in my head, got to go through and figure out. Somewhat to Jim's point is, what's the end game we're looking at? what is that building going to be? And I mean, I'd like to even revisit some of the options that were brought forward, because I don't remember what they were from the task force that looked into it, just to see in my own mind if I think any of those are even viable right now. And what it
Well,
costs to do
even
it.
if we just take the 250 and just say we're gonna spend $250,000 worth on windows or doors or something to that aspect, is not to lose that money, and then just hold off, because like you said, this is gonna be, the project, if and when it comes around, is gonna be substantial, and it's gonna take,
It's going to be the equivalent of what's right behind us.
right, probably more than what's right behind us, yeah. And that's what I'm saying, and maybe that, at least it's all tied into one package, and that's all. I'd like to see it all be.
How's the roof? How old's the roof?
That's a nightmare too.
Slate.
Yeah.
How old, I mean, does it need to be worked? Could we use the 250?
Have you toured the building?
No.
Please go over there and take it.
No, that's not
Yeah.
true. I've been in it for a
Yeah.
debate, but I.
Yeah.
No, you need to take the.
You need to take the tour, go down to see the
furnace.
mechanicals.
Furnaces, you got to go see the
Oh, yeah.
boilers and everything.
So I'm just asking, would the 250 help with the roof?
That roof's gonna
I doubt that we
probably.
would have it spec bid and ready by
June. You got to remember, you're working on a timeline
Right.
too.
Yeah, so the logical thing is probably the 250 and.
All right, so why don't we amend the, well, we got,
Well, no, because they got to come back because they're going to get, it's got to be a separate RFP.
all right.
so they can
Well, let's make a
identify the
dec-
windows.
Let's make a decision then.
Well, you can just rescind your motion, that's all.
I didn't make it.
Oh, I did. Okay, so,
Rescind it and we'll
yeah,
table it.
why don't we just, yeah, so I'll officially rescind my motion, and we'll table this till we hear back from you guys regarding the
Possibility.
qualifications for these bidders. And could you also get back to us, sorry, Margie, I know this is a lot, just get back to us as soon as you can about how many windows can be done for this amount.
Yep, we'll do that.
And we'll judge,
33?
we'll trust you guys to
Right now, you're
choose
getting a
which
price around
windows got to
7,500,
be replaced
so if
first.
we look in the 30 to 35 range to get done, if you could target 35 windows out there, you thought were.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
Something like that, you know what I mean?
absolutely. We'll look at those things and come back to you as soon as possible.
2 weeks. 2 weeks, yeah, definitely. Hate to make it tough, but that's all right, yeah. That was a big pill.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Shane, you're on the board.
Okay, Commissioner.
You're on the clock.
Yep, item 3, page 4 through 7, Little Kidwell Avenue Extension.
See, now, this is an easy one.
Shane?
We know what
wanna
this
take
is
that?
used for,
Yeah.
and it's going good down there, so.
I move to award the Little Kidwell Road Extension Project to Middleton's Construction Company LLC of Centreville, Maryland, the amount of $605,953 via the April 4th competitive bid.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Any discussion? Can you just tell Shane, that's for the public that's watching, what's going on here, why are we doing this, and?
Joe, we'll be extending Little Kidwell, where it currently ends, to Vincent Street in Centreville, which will basically run adjacent to the planning and zoning and the new YMCA. It's about 525 feet of closed section roadway, and it's 605,000. So we want to jump on this immediately. We have a very tight window on this one.
Good.
So we'll give notice to proceed tomorrow if approved tonight.
Okay. Any other questions, discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. 5-0.
Was a thumbs
There
up.
you go.
God said yes.
There you go.
Excellent. Thank you, Commissioners. And item 4 on pages 8 through 12 is a 6-wheel dump truck purchase to help with the road construction project here, right, Shane? So we
One way to frame it.
What you do is you ask for the truck
Actually,
first.
it won't be here.
And
The
then when you have the
project will be-
truck, now you do the roads.
Yeah, the project will probably be done by the time the truck comes, but this is a request to
really.
purchase one 6-wheel dump truck from Freightliner off the State of Delaware contract for $208,985.89.
I'll make them ask a question first.
Well, let's make a motion and get a second and then.
Go ahead, you make the motion.
I move to purchase one 6-wheel dump truck from Freightliner of Delmar, Maryland, in the amount of $208,905.89 via the State Delaware existing contract GSS 22617.
I'll second that. Any discussion?
Yeah, so just a quick question. What kind of delivery time frame, realistic, are you looking at on this thing?
They won't give us one.
Yeah, so I guess my question is, can we give, and this is more of a, I guess, a technical question, can we give budget authority for this purchase, but you guys kind of, you can purchase it up to this amount, and look around, maybe you find one cheaper, maybe a better delivery date or whatever, just to give the authority to go get it versus you getting locked into this. Because the only reason I'm saying that is in the last 4 months, we've had to recall, 4 vehicles now that we had given the money for, didn't get them, and now they're more expensive. So I'd rather just.
That would work great on some of the smaller equipment.
Okay.
But in particular, all the dump trucks that we purchase, crew cab, 1 tons, and a 6-wheel like this, they're a composite. We have to buy the truck and the frame, we have to send, then it gets sent by them to another company, get the body put on. So they are not sitting anywhere on a lot ready to go.
I got you.
So we ordered a crew cab June of 2022, and we still haven't gotten it.
But you raised a good point.
Yes, and that was very helpful.
A very good point. 3 or 4 months ago, I came before you to buy a skid loader.
Yeah.
They sold it out from under us. We never had a chance. We still don't have it. So, yeah, the formal process like we've been going through to buy equipment, not working.
I mean, yeah, I'd like you to bring it, if you foresee it, I'd like to give you the budget authority for it and then go shop it. I mean, we did it on the smaller stuff.
Yeah, we talked about doing some adjustments to the procurement policy, at least in the interim to allow.
Spending
those kinds of-
affordability said, we should up it so that Todd can make those decisions.
But that
immediately.
wasn't gonna cover this. I'm thinking.
No,
we need to
correct,
look
but
at-
it would still would cover a lot of the other ancillary pickups, cars, skid loaders.
think it
But
was
also,
like
doesn't this lock your price in though? Are you ordering this truck?
Some will not lock the price.
That's what I'm
Still
saying,
won't
no,
lock
and
it.
that's that's
okay.
the other thing, that's what I'll say, because a lot of these guys, they're like, okay, if you came in the next day and said, well, I'll buy it for $212, I'll give you $212.
It's
they're gonna call us up and say, hey, guess what, we just ordered with another guy for $212.
This truck and the truck we ordered last June, both are the same situation where they told us they were not taking additional orders. We were gonna defer, and then last minute they go, somebody dropped out of the waiting line.
Right.
Will you guys,
I'm hearing that.
we'll give it to you next. So that's why we're
On our
running so
side.
fast trying to get it.
It's horrible.
So we don't want to drop out. But yes, I know exactly what you mean.
Yeah. So that's why I say maybe we look at the procurement policy to that effect, to where, if the department's got a need to come in, try to give it as much advance notice so that we can get the budget authority out there to go shop hard, and if the deal's there, take it.
Yeah.
Instead of having to come back to us 2 weeks later if we're not meeting that week or whatever the case may be.
So to this point,
gonna
is
save money.
2021 really much worse than a 2023? To Commissioner's point, if you could find a 2021 or 2020.
Well, they do a lot, I
say,
mean.
the price goes down 20%, 30% within a.
No, it won't.
But I think availability is your biggest issue right now, because like Shane's saying, they're not sitting on a lot, so.
Find one, you gotta be able to close the deal. You can't go in
Exactly,
there.
that's my point. You gotta be right
You
down
don't
there.
get
you
time
gotta
to
make
think
a deal.
about it, Dick, yep.
Yeah.
So
So
you're saying it's up to,
the 208,000,
you
yeah.
just changed the wording.
Yeah. But, yeah, I would just make it to give the budget authority to do whatever you gotta do for it.
Well, like I said, so we have the motion, we have the second.
For that amount,
Yeah,
and it's
yeah,
that amount, so
yeah.
it doesn't matter.
So, any other discussion? All righty, so seeing.
Should we change the wording to?
No, we can.
No,
This one's
they're
already
getting
done.
they're getting the money, so.
Yeah.
They'll have the budget authority, and hopefully they'll get the truck. If not, hopefully if they see something else, and the money's there, and they can snatch it up, so. All right, well, we're voting on to purchase 1 6-wheel dump truck from Freightliner of Delmar, Maryland, in the amount of $208,985.89 via the state Delaware existing contract GSS 22617. All those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed? Which is that, Chris?
Aye.
Thank you. Okay, 5-0. Okay.
Does that, what happens if they find one in Tennessee, and it's not Delmarva of Delmar? Does that matter, the wording? I'm just asking.
No, necessarily,
Okay.
no.
No, that's just.
It doesn't mean you have to buy it from that.
That's the purchasing
That's correct.
contract
That's
number, that's
correct.
all they're based on.
Yes.
Yeah.
All right, thank you, Commissioners. All right, our last item for this evening for Public Works, item 5 on pages 13 through 15 is the long-awaited Chesapeake Heritage and Visitors Center Site Improvement Contract. And this is a bid we received for the Visitors Center parking lot project. And we received 2 bids, one from David A. Bramble, base bid $966,227. Second base bid was from JJID at $1,616,000, and there were 3 alternatives to the bid. And we would look for a motion to award the contract, and then if you want to select some or all of the alternates, I believe we're recommending probably all 3 alternates as part of the project. So that does create a bit of a budgetary shortfall as well. So we do need to increase an allocation in the FY24 budget to cover the low bidder, the low responsible bidder, David A. Bramble. So right now, I think we would need to increase the FY24 budget up to $410,000 to cover the entire project, which the overall project came in with the low bidder at $1,118,127.
The whole Seidman's here, if you want more detail on the alternates.
Tab 2, item 5. Yeah, it's up on the screen here is a digital picture of the site work, the revised parking lot that would be built, and then, of course, the groundwork with some trail systems where we just completed the new bulkhead out there and the T dock in front of the visitor center. You'll note Ms. Tonelli.
See, this is one of those sites that when I look at it, with all the landscaping going on there, who maintains all that? Who's gonna, is this, I know we in the budget, we've got landscapers lined up to take specific jobs. This would be one of them I'd like to keep in there, just because of what this building is, and, it's a first site of Queen Anne's County. I just want to.
We can certainly do that, Commissioner.
Yeah.
Right now,
Right,
we
I
decided
understand.
to keep
Yeah.
this under our umbrella during the construction phase. We can
Absolutely.
certainly talk to
Yeah.
the KNDF about assuming the responsibility for the site afterwards, certainly. So any questions about the scope of the project? We can go over those if you like.
It's been a long time coming, so I'm glad to see we're here. It's unfortunate we've got to increase that budget again, but that's the world we live in. So we need both these motions?
This is a 6-month contract.
Because one's the base and then the other one's the alternates, right?
Yeah, we
Okay.
would need to award the base bid, and if
Okay.
there's any.
I move to award the base bid for the Chesapeake Heritage and Visitor Center Site Improvements Project to David A. Bramble Incorporated of Chestertown, Maryland, in the amount of $966,227 via the April 4th competitive bid. And I move to award the base bid, and the alternatives for Chesapeake Heritage and Visitor Center Site Improvements Project to David A. Bramble, Inc. of Chestertown, Maryland, in the amount of, the alternates would be, the total, let's start over, Margie. I'm sorry. Let's start over.
Let's do the
I know how
base
they
bid
want it. Yeah,
contract,
just
then
the
do the
bottom
alternate
line.
second.
Yeah. I move to award the base, what is it? I'm sorry, Jack.
Do the base bid and then do the alternates as a second.
Well, the alternate, then we gotta add them up. Why can't I just put them all together at one time?
It's 1-point-something million. What's the total?
Are you going to do all 3 alternates?
Yes.
I would read this
Just
second motion.
read the
and just say
mission.
alternates
Take the
1 through
contract
3.
and alternates for
Yeah.
1.1 and call it one
Alternates
motion.
1 through 3 with the $1 million.
There you go.
Right. Well, that's what I'm saying. I move to award the base bid and alternates,
There you go.
1, 2, and 3 for the Chesapeake Heritage and Visitor Center Site Improvements Project to David A. Bramble Incorporated of Chestertown, Maryland, in the amount of $1,118,127 via the April 4th competitive bid.
That covers it.
I got it.
Second.
All right. We have a motion and a second. Any discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. We have 1 absent, 2 absents. Chris is, I guess he had to get on this plane. God has left us and the Riddler's left us too, so it's 3 yeses. That's all it takes. So it's done.
Man, it's heavy lifting. We're falling out here by attrition right now.
Yeah.
First there were 5, now there are 3.
Uh-huh. Yep.
Since you guys ain't asking for any more money, we may make it to round table.
Yep.
Are we done?
Yeah, you guys are done.
You're done. Away we go. And when is that going to be completed? When?
November.
This fall?
Yes,
Yeah,
this fall.
this fall. Okay.
Yeah, it's going to be messy at the.
Yeah.
down
That's
there
okay.
for a bit this summer.
And we're going to hold off on the plannings till fall, right? A majority of the planning?
That was the idea of our last meeting we had for the plannings to be in fall. You know, it's better time to have those plans
Good.
installed at that time.
Yeah. Very good. All right. Thank you, guys. Appreciate it.
Thank you, Commissioners.
Thanks, gentlemen.
Thank you, gentlemen. Thank you all for being so patient today, waiting on.
You were on time.
All right.
That's it.
That is all of the action items, all of the presentations we had this evening, Commissioners. We can,
Yeah, we're going to press a public comment. Anybody here want to talk? Yes, no? We don't have any, if it's not in the agenda, we're not going over it, but if there's something you want to talk about, feel free.
sure, come on up.
Yeah.
You want to read your blurb, Tom?
Can you?
That's-
Oh, you had, what?
It's just my name and my address.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, yes.
Okay. Thanks for taking the time to express your views to the county commissioners. Comments are limited to 3 minutes per person. Comments longer than 3 minutes can be submitted in writing. We respect your desire and right to convey your message freely. Please speak at the standing microphone, state your name and topic of interest, and in keeping with the dignity of our office, please express all views in a respectful and civil manner.
Okay. My name is Kimberly Molesky, and I live on Haymaker Drive. And the reason why I'm here this evening may be a little premature, but the reason why I'm here this evening is to discuss what's happening with our head coach, Al Waters, at the Queen Anne's High School. I'm not sure whether you're aware, but he has been asked to resign. So he has not resigned as of yet, and I won't speak to that because it'll have to go to the superintendent, you know, and the principal's dealing with it and such. But I would like to speak to with due respect to what Coach Al does for our community as the head coach football, in charge of football. Sorry, a little nervous.
That's okay. It's all right.
So Coach Al, he not only represents the football team, whether it be the JV or the varsity team, he also represents all of the players that are coming up through UQA. Eventually, they'll be playing for Queen Anne's High School. So, you know, that's not just 100 kids, it's potentially thousands of kids. And he also, right now, with the seniors, like last year, there were 8 seniors, and 6 of them were awarded college offers. And Coach Al actually meets with the colleges and universities, whether they come to our school, and takes his own personal time to meet with them and to meet with the player to try to get them an offer. He also takes parents and players to those colleges and universities on his own time to help, you know, a lot of these, well, all of the players, really. There's 886 colleges and universities. So whether you're a person who is really strong academically or is sort of a standout, there's a lot of room for a lot of the players to receive offers. He also focuses on their character and also on their GPA. We've got, I think there's 6 students right now that have higher than a 4.0 GPA. And to backtrack a little bit, there's even one player this year that has received 6 to 7 offers from different colleges and universities. One of the universities is even Yale. So I think, you know, there may have been a violation that has occurred. I'm not certain. I'm not going to speak to that, but I do know that it's petty. Mm-hmm. And I don't think that it warrants asking a person who's giving this much to our community to be asked to resign, when he could have an impact on not hundreds but thousands of athletic students in our community. And the reason why I'm here tonight, again, I said it's premature, but I think that you make decisions and talk to persons that make decisions that are in the best interest for our community as a whole.
Well, I appreciate you coming in and sitting through the whole meeting to talk. We should have had you at the first press and public comment. But I would say, as commissioners, we don't have any say in these issues that are with the Board of Education. I would say that tomorrow night, the Board of Ed meets tomorrow night. I would go there and voice your concerns.
Well, it's my understanding, and, you know, this is new to me, but that we have to give 2 weeks' notice. I'll look into that tomorrow morning, but I didn't know that I could actually, I was going to go to the May 3rd meeting.
No, you can sign up. It's
Yeah,
it's
that's
just
like-
like
You can
this.
just
gotta-
go?
Yeah, you have to have press and public comment at every meeting. Yeah,
Right.
That's the
Public
law,
meeting,
so-
yep. You should be able to go in there and sign up and speak, just like here.
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yep.
And
Well,
they are
maybe
the
it'll be a little bit
they're
more
the decision makers, so.
prepared,
Ultimately,
because-
they are, and that's what
Yeah.
I was just going to say, is
Yeah.
they're the ones that have to make the decision. I mean, yes, we talk to them, just like we would talk to you or anybody else, but we ultimately don't have that decision-making. They're an elected board as well, so.
Yeah.
But, yeah, and listen, I sympathize, we've gotten all the emails this week, and versus going and answering them all, I know that Dr. Salins has reached out and answered some of them to say that, you know, to kind of clarify that for the people that have emailed. So I was going to mention it at roundtable anyway, that appreciate all the emails, love getting them, because it's kind of lonely sometimes being a commissioner, but when we do get them and we have to deal with them, it's a different story. But unfortunately, this is one we can't. And like I said, I sympathize with all the parents and kids and everything, so.
Yeah, I mean, it's impacting our whole community.
Yeah.
But it's a personnel issue as well,
Yeah.
and those get
Right.
tricky too, so. But
Well, I
appreciate you
think-
coming out.
Thank
Because
you, I
That's
appreciate
what I'm
it.
being told too, because it's a personnel. I don't know anything other than what you know.
Right. That's true. Yep.
That is a fact.
We know what you know, so, thank you.
Okay, well, thank you very much for your
Yeah,
time. this
absolutely.
evening.
Thank you. And unless Beth is going to speak, we got anybody online? I thought I saw something online.
There was a youngster just online.
He's been joining our Zoom a lot, commenting and leaving very fast.
All right,
we'll close press and public comment. We'll go to roundtable. Jack, fire away.
Just one thing on the update on the solar bill. It did get pushed through. It was amended down. It's basically, for the county's sake, it's more status quo. We'll maintain our planning and zoning capabilities right now, but it's definitely something we'll have to continue to be vigilant on and watch how it may come back in a different form. But yeah, all in all, we squeaked by that one. So thanks to Mako and our lobbyists we had down there and everybody that got involved in it, we were able to kind of sway the opinion. So, and I'll have some more. Obviously, Sunny Die was just last night, so they're still sorting through what actually got passed and the governor's going to sign. So I guess we'll wait and see what flushes. I know we did get our alcohol bill.
Yes.
Did get through, so that now you do not have to live in the county to own a liquor store and or restaurant in Queen Anne's County any longer based on Supreme Court decision, so you can now get a liquor license.
Patrick?
I was just going to ask about Coach Al. I think
Yeah.
it's kind of been taken care of. Well,
Very good.
I don't think it's taken care of, but I do concur with her concerns. But there's just a lot I don't know.
Yeah. And I think I'm just going to say that, you know, there's a lot coming with the Bay Bridge construction, and I'm a little tired tonight, so we're going to leave that for the next meeting and go over that and some of the, I mean, it's not going to get good. You know, it's going to be a problem. So.
Meaning,
Just
not gonna be
traffic.
able to-
I mean, we've been told that they're monitoring the traffic like as we do, and the numbers of vehicles crossing are at an all-time high.
And it's not, and the hours that's not an issue anymore, because I had to come across at 8:30, 9 o'clock a few weeks back, whatever it was. And I was like, might as well have been 4 o'clock in the afternoon.
Yeah.
I mean, it wasn't, normally back in the day, you crawl across there with another 15 cars.
Yeah.
That was traffic.
Yeah.
Literally, it was almost bumper to bumper, and there was no accidents. There was nothing going on.
It is.
They put those red lights on the service road, it's going to make it twice as bad as it's going to be.
It makes it twice. It actually works.
I don't believe it.
Well, if you lived in Broadneck, you'd
When
believe
you're
it.
sitting there
Yeah.
in traffic.
Well, you're
But those
looking-
people are the ones
Which
getting
I
off
do.
trying to subvert the system
Absolutely.
anyway.
Right,
They're
yeah,
the guys you want to
right.
catch.
Yeah.
They're the ones I look over at.
Local
yelling.
resident,
'Cause-
mind you.
No, you know what? I stay on 50 anymore because
Yeah.
honestly, since they got rid of the toll
Right.
booths and all that, you move. You're not at a dead stop for miles and miles unless there's an incident.
Correct.
Honestly. But
Correct.
you get those guys on the service road, they got to get themselves back.
The
up to
service roads,
speed.
the red lights are coming.
Right there at the corner of Jamal's.
Possibly 2, maybe 3 of them, all of them down through. There's 3 options on the table.
Are they going to put them on both sides or just?
Well, there's 3 options on the table. One to make it, that's what I was going to talk about next in 2 weeks. But
Okay.
you're going to make the access roads basically one
We
way.
should let Queen
One
Anne's
way.
County people use that road.
Well,
We're the locals, we are the ones.
That's like saying
get the
that- but
bulk
that's
of
like
the-
saying that-
Bulk of the backups all year long.
Everybody pays the taxes on
yeah,
that.
but that's like saying, and the Broadneck people are the ones that are, on our side streets.
We'll do it on the other side.
So, but we'll see.
So let me ask you this real quick, and you're probably going to go down this road. So if they're going to give Anne Arundel County authority to do that, are we going to get any authority on our side for it?
There you go. That is a good question.
All right, just
That's a good
curious.
question. Yep. See? Put red lights.
For
in.
years it was,
Yeah.
you can't touch that, you know
Right.
what I mean?
Well, these are red lights, so these aren't shutting the roads down. These are
we
just.
could have red lights that
Yes, they
flash when they're not.
They are shutting the road because they're open for 30 seconds.
Well,
And then
no,
they
but
go
they're gonna
red, boom,
flash
you get
yellow
4 cars
probably.
through.
What do you think happens at 213 and 50?
That's right.
That's
Same
exactly.
thing.
It's called metering of traffic, and that's how you control the
Which hurts-
traffic.
But that's my point, it hurts locals.
Yeah.
Stay on
Well,
50.
it hurts everybody, but the problem is, local or not,
50% of our folks go over the bridge, and they're all using the service road, so keep that
I
in
disagree.
mind.
I don't.
I disagree with
Patrick,
that.
I haven't used a service road in fucking 5 years because
Yeah.
I just realized that when you get off on there, every other idiot with Waze is getting off on there, so you're just sitting there with them and you can't go nowhere. So
And we know from, just the conversations with the Broadneck Peninsula people that when the red light was up there, Waze told them to stay on 50, and
Because
they
it's
had, those
faster.
people could go to and from their homes. And-
man, how long has that been though? That red light's been going for years, hasn't it?
No, just 1 year. I'm talking about just a temporary one that was
Oh,
up
the
for 2
temporary.
weeks.
Oh, right,
Yeah.
right. I got you.
So,
That-
The
that's on
experimental.
in 30 seconds, that one?
But, well, yeah, but back years ago,
Seconds
there
of
used to
green.
be a red light there at Jamal's on the service road, a regular red light back in the day.
oh, you
Way
mean,
back when.
with shopping center over there?
Yeah, what, Whitehall Inn was all
Yeah.
still open
Yeah,
back
yeah,
then? and
yeah,
all?
yeah.
There used to be a red light there.
Yep.
That Volvo dealer will like it.
So we'll see.
Oh, good. Motion to adjourn.
Second. All in favor? Aye. Thank you very much. Margie, we don't have anything to sign tonight, do we?
You do.
Oh, I thought we did.
Yeah, please don't forget
Are
your
we
budget
off?
books, yeah.